The afternoon shadows stretched long across the plains of Mamre. The three visitors, having shared bread and spoken promise, rose to continue their journey. Abraham walked with them, his heart still trembling with the echo of God's words. Sarah shall have a son. Yet the air carried a weight, an unspoken gravity, as if judgment itself lingered on the horizon. And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. Genesis 18 verse 16, KJV. The plain spread wide before them, and far in the distance, Abraham could see the lush valley where Sodom and Gomorrah thrived. From afar, the cities glittered with wealth, but Abraham knew the truth. They were drenched in wickedness. Their cries had risen to heaven. And then the Lord spoke, his voice both thunder and whisper. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. Genesis 18 verses 17 to 19, KJV. The words pierced the air. Abraham's chest tightened. God was about to reveal something dreadful, an act of judgment that would shake the earth. And the Lord said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. Genesis 18 verses 20 to 21, KJV. The two angels turned, walking on toward the city, but Abraham remained, standing still in the presence of the Lord. Dust swirled at his feet, his mind racing, his heart heavy. His nephew Lot lived there. His family, his blood, dwelt in that cursed place. Could he remain silent? Could he let judgment fall without pleading for mercy? And so, Abraham stepped forward, a trembling man before the Almighty. And Abraham drew near, and said, Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Genesis 18 verse 23, KJV. His voice cracked, yet courage held firm. The desert wind carried his prayer upward. Abraham dared to challenge the judge of all the earth, not in arrogance, but in desperate hope for mercy. Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy, and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? Genesis 18 verses 24 to 25, KJV. The silence stretched. Heaven itself seemed to pause. And then the Lord replied, If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. Genesis 18 verse 26, KJV. Relief washed over Abraham, but he pressed on, trembling yet bold. For he knew the wickedness of Sodom was great. And Abraham answered and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? Genesis 18 verses 27 to 28, KJV. And the Lord said, If I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. Genesis 18 verse 28, KJV. Abraham's heart raced. The bargaining continued. 40, 30, 20? Each time, the Lord answered with patience, with mercy. Finally, Abraham's voice broke into desperation. And he said, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. Genesis 18 verse 32, KJV. And the Lord replied, I will not destroy it, for 10's sake. Genesis 18 verse 32, KJV. The wind stilled. The conversation was over. And the Lord went his way, as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. Genesis 18 verse 33, KJV. Abraham stood alone, staring out toward the valley. His heart was heavy, torn between hope and dread. The judge of all the earth had spoken. The fate of Sodom rested on whether 10 righteous souls could be found. Abraham turned back toward his tent, praying silently, desperately, that mercy might yet triumph over judgment. Lessons from Abraham's intercession. The power of intercession. Abraham stood in the gap, pleading for others. Prayer is not small, it moves heaven. God's justice and mercy. The judge of all the earth does right. He is both just and merciful. The weight of righteousness. A few righteous can preserve many. Never underestimate the impact of one faithful soul. God's patience. Abraham asked again and again. God did not grow weary, he listened. Urgency of holiness. Sodom's fate teaches us. Sin brings destruction. Only repentance and righteousness save.